Get nervous.
I can't see your eyeballs. You're way up there. Don't remember, if one falls off, you just drop.
You got the tie right. Oh, the rings. Where are the rings?
The rings?
They were back at the. Okay.
I'm sure. I'm sure I'm a shot. Where's Sean? Becky. Sean and Becky are gone. Huh? Where's Sean and Becky? Wait, where's Becky? Where's Car- Wait, where's Sean? We'll figure it out.
Can I look back?
No. Okay, go sit down.
Well, what are you doing, Jasper?
You're like, go away. You're Sean? Do you need something?
Okay, you got it. This is important. All right, Luke, the rings. If you can remember, hand this one to me, hand this one to Nikki.
Okay.
If you mix it up, it's not the end of the world.
So, silver, Nikki, pink, James, purple, James.
So James is bigger. Small. Good. That's all that. That's a few.
Awesome.
Yes, yes. He's over there. Yes, the good hair. Alex has the good hair. Good hair.
It's, oh, is it her?
Yes.
Okay, come on, Jasper. Beside.
Who accompanies this bride today?
I do. James Coker. Right through mine. Yes, sit down.
Welcome all, family and friends, as we gather together to celebrate the union of James and Nicole. I believe the bride and groom would agree that they are both humbled and honored at your presence here today, whether in person or virtually. Over the course of their relationship, James and Nicole have developed an unshakable bond based on shared values, mutual respect, and intellectual curiosity. With a solid foundation from which to grow, they have made the decision to swear the oath of marriage and spend the rest of their lives together. The couple have graciously invited us all here today to witness this important moment in their relationship. So do not overlook the significance of your inclusion in this joyous day. If anyone has cause to object to the forming of this union, speak now or forever hold your peace. With that being said, we will proceed. Marriage is a venerated institution and one that I believe to be deserving of deep reverence. The ritual of marriage has as many forms as there are cultures to conduct them. Today, we observe the union of James and Nicole in matrimony. This is a commitment they have chosen to undertake with all the sincerity that it warrants. A gift that they offer freely to one another, a celebration that will embody their lives in perpetuity. We've all had the privilege to peer into the relationship shared by James and Nikki, as I have. I doubt anyone would challenge the claim that these two have a resilient, loving, and joyful partnership. That these two exemplify trust, kind humor, patience, even if that patience is sometimes punctuated by a sigh or two. These two support each other through all the challenges they face, and will continue to do so for all the challenges to come. Of these things, I am personally certain. If I may, let me offer my attestation of these facts. In our time together, I had many opportunities to call James and Nikki my friends. By my reckoning, it took about 5 years before that friendship began in earnest. And it took the back-breaking labor of installing a drainage pipe system in rocky Birmingham soil to emboss that friendship. You could really say that our friendship is measured in pipe lengths. And it took living together for 2.5 years to truly secure that friendship for a lifetime. And in the time we've spent together, I got to know each of them very well, both individually and as a couple. I caught a few glimpses of their relationship that I'd like to share with you. Firstly, Nikki loves to entertain guests, and she's really good at it. And she does it big, whether it's 2 people or a dozen. She breaks out food, music, games, second helpings of food, marshmallows over a fire pit, kisses from Diego, entire seasons of television shows watched in one season, or one sitting. Don't tell these two you haven't watched Chernobyl or Deadpool, unless you have an afternoon to watch Chernobyl or Deadpool. Before I moved in, if I stayed late, they would just tell me to stay over, sleep in the guest room. One of the perks of being young homeowners. And more than likely, we'd hang out the next day as well. It's kind of how I moved in eventually. Because of this, you can bet that James and Nikki's house is the first place I'll be going once I get my COVID test. At 6'2" with wrists bigger than my ankles, James strikes a somewhat intimidating figure. Of course, anyone can tell you after speaking with him once, that staunch appearance is really just dressing for a kind, extremely intelligent individual. What I didn't know until living with him for so long, though, is just how empathetic and caring he can be. If I had a hard day at work, more often than not, he seemed to know immediately. He would try to cheer me up or just sit there and listen to me. And I see that same care expressed in Nikki constantly. Whether it's planning a surprise and telling me not to spoil it, making an unplanned food run because Nikki has a craving. He stood in line for 20 minutes at Harvey more times than he can count, I'm sure. Or taking care of both Nikki and Diego if either of them were to get sick. He's just on top of it. You might look at what I have to say and think that, well, I'm focusing on the small stuff. I'm focusing on the mundane things. And firstly, I can say, maybe speak to me after the ceremony. I've got some stories I could tell, but perhaps not in a public forum. But secondly, and more importantly, I think that James and Nikki just make the classic things good. They're of one mind for the most important things, and they know when it's appropriate to poke fun at each other for the small stuff. They've got that sort of teamwork factor that so many people, so many couples, so many partners are looking for. I'll say this last. Living with them for 2.5 years, it's become clear to me that they are either really good at imitating love, or they've actually found it. James and Nicole, please join hands. James. James, you take Nicole to be your lawfully wedded wife. You promise to support her completely and love her unconditionally for long as you both shall live.
I do.
And Nicole, do you take James to be your lawfully wedded husband? You promise to support him completely and love him unconditionally so long as you both shall live.
I do.
Know that before you go any further, that since your paths have crossed in this life and they have formed ties between each other. As you seek to enter the state of matrimony, you should strive to make real the ideals which give meaning to both this ceremony and the institution of marriage. Do you both still seek to enter the ceremony?
We
We
do.
do.
Before you have the hands of your loved ones. These are the hands that will passionately love you and cherish you through the years for a lifetime of happiness. These are the hands that will countless times wipe away the tears from your eyes, tears of sorrow as well as tears of joy. These are the hands that will comfort you in illness and hold you in fear or grief-racked your mind. These are the hands that will hold you tight as you struggle through all difficult times. And finally, these are the hands that will give you support and encourage you to chase your dreams. Together, everything you wish can be realized.
This one.
Step out
Dude.
Back in earlier years, the hands would be bound with whatever was available, vines, colorful cords, or a scarf. Today, we will use this cord to symbolize the bindings or promises that are being made here today. James, will you be Nicole's faithful partner for life?
I will.
And Nicole, will you be James's faithful partner for life?
I will.
Will you each be others' constant friends and one true love?
We will.
And so the first binding, first promise is made. Nicole, Will you promise to love James without reservation?
I will.
And James, will you promise to love Nicole without reservation?
I will.
Will you both of your own standing by, will you both stand by one another in sickness and in health, in plenty and in want?
We will.
And so the second binding, the second promise is made. Nicole, will you stand together with James through times of joy and sorrow?
I will.
James, will you stand with Nicole through times of joy and sorrow?
I will.
And will you both share the burdens of each other so that your spirits may grow in mission?
We will.
We will.
So the third binding, third promise is made. James, will you always be open and honest with Nicole for so long as you both shall live?
I will.
And Nicole, will you always be open and honest with James for as long as you both shall live?
I will.
Will you both dream together to create new realities and hopes for this marriage?
We
We
will.
will.
So the fourth binding, fourth promise is made. Now the knots of this final binding are not formed by these cords, but instead by your commitment to each other that you've made tonight. In this way, either you may drop the cords, or as always, you hold in your own hands the making or breaking of this union. It is now time to exchange the rings.
Switch.
This is me.
I'm sorry.
The circle formed by each ring is a symbol of your love and eternal commitment to each other. May these rings remind you always of the promises you've made to each other today in the company of your family and friends. James, you will go first. Please repeat after me as you place the ring on the hand of your loved one. I, James, give you, Nicole, this ring
I, James, give you, Nicole, this ring
as a symbol of my love and commitment
as a symbol of my love and commitment
and the eternal vows we have made to each other today.
and the eternal vows we have made to each other today.
Nicole, you're next. Repeat after me. I, Nicole, give you, James, this ring
I, Nicole, give you, James, this ring
as a symbol of my love and commitment
as a symbol of my love and commitment
and the eternal vows we have made to each other today.
and the eternal vows we have made to each other this day.
Now, by the power vested in me by the state of Alabama, the Universal Life Church, I pronounce you, James, Nicole, as husband and wife, lawfully wed. And now, like your first act as a married couple, we want to love, we will now kiss each other for the first time as husband and wife. Family and friends, it is with great honor that I officially present to you Mr. James Keziah and Mrs. Nicole Kocher.
Ready to go?
Did I almost see what's really on the inside?
Can you take this?
Yep. Yeah.